But yeah, this is a NASCAR podcast.
I beat you to it. Anyways, Clash, what?
I think we need to change the name of this podcast to This is a NASCAR Podcast.
Just to make sure people know it's a NASCAR podcast?
Yeah.
Anyways, what do you think about the Clash on Sunday night?
It was dog shit. It was trash.
Probably it was trashy-oly.
It's probably the worst.
Get that sponsor on a t-shirt.
It was. I was watching David Land today when I was waiting for you to wake up so we could go to the gym.
Who? I know who that is.
David Land on YouTube. I know who you are.
Who do you think you are? I am.
Playoffs. Anyways, I was watching the David Land video and he made a good point. And he said, if this wasn't the first race back after the off season, he probably wouldn't have watched it. And I'm in the same boat looking back at it. It's not worth watching on TV. Eric Estep said that it was a great experience being there, but watching it on TV, it was hard to watch. And we said this last year, the musical performances are cringy. They're hard to watch on TV in general. I mean, any musical act on TV that's live is difficult to watch, in my opinion, on TV. But then you put them in a stadium that's a quarter full because nobody's getting there until the green flag drops, and they're not really NASCAR people. So it's obvious they're there for a paycheck and not really into what they're doing. It's difficult to watch. And, so that made the atmosphere, the importance of the race seem a little less important. And once the race started, the first 75 laps was okay. And then you had the halftime show with fucking Wiz Khalifa and it was terrible. And then they get back on the racetrack and they can't make 5 laps. I think there's a stat out there that there was a 37-minute stretch where they completed 5 laps.
Yeah, because caution laps.
Because of caution laps. And that's just... I understand that they're going out there and they're trying to get new fans, but you're not going to get new fans parading cars around in a circle that aren't racing for 37 minutes. You're just not. Nobody's going to enjoy watching that. I don't care if you've ever seen a race before in your life. And not to mention, we said this last year, we brought it up earlier when we were talking about it, that this isn't a NASCAR race. So even if you do gain new fans off of this race, they're going to tune into Phoenix and they're going to wonder where the bumping and banging's at. Your words exactly earlier. And it's just, I understand why they do it. I just don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. The event itself, you can say it was an okay event. You can say it's a once a year, and the drivers even said, yeah, it's a cool event, cool venue, it's awesome atmosphere. But at the end of the day, there's only 30 to 40,000 fans there. The people on TV is what drives your money, drives your ratings. We've talked about this in the past. Ticket sales is not what drives the sport. It's the TV ratings. And if you go out there and give these people a one event like this and you gain some fans and they tune in Daytona 500, they might still like it because it's close quarters racing, it's big wrecks, it's the Daytona 500, it's the biggest race in NASCAR. And then the next week they go to Phoenix or wherever they go. Is it Phoenix again? The second race? I can't remember what race, the second race of the year. They go there and it's nothing like it. It's nothing like the Clash and it's nothing like the Daytona 500. And then they tune out and you lose them. So what was the point really? It's kind of like what I imagine this race was yesterday. And it had some okay moments. I thought the heat races were very entertaining.
Auto Club.
Okay. Auto
then
Club.
Vegas,
sorry.
then Phoenix.
Okay. So Auto Club, take a race. They're totally different. Totally different track and racing, all that stuff. It's like in basketball when you bring somebody new to a basketball game and it's the two worst teams in the conference or whatever, and they're just making mistake after mistake, turnovers, missed layups, missed shots, all these things. You gain fans from that?
I've got a better comparison. I think it's closer to akin to if you bring somebody to a hockey game and all they get to see is overtime in the shootouts. So you've got in hockey, you've got, you're 5-on-5 for 20 minutes, 3 periods. If you're tied, you go to overtime and it's 3-on-3 for 5 minutes. And if nobody scores in that 3-on-3, they go to the shootout. Now, 3-on-3 hockey and the shootout, that isn't what hockey is about. Now, granted, it is a part of hockey, but that isn't what the majority of a hockey game is. And in my opinion, that's a good comparison from NASCAR to regular races in NASCAR compared to the Clash. Now, beating and banging, it is a part of NASCAR, but 90% of the time, you're not going to have it.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. Better comparison is that it's like the overtime rule in college football. And they start at 25. You're not going to start at 25 the first 4 quarters of the game. When overtime comes, it's 25. Each team gets a possession. You got to try to score, and then it becomes 2-point plays back and forth. And this is exciting, I guess. I mean, it is exciting, but, fully packed of pressure, stuff like that. But then you try to go watch a whole football game. It's nothing like that. I mean, you got elements to it, the red zone, like it is in the overtime, but you have to get there. You have to make it to where the red zone matters. In the Clash, I feel like it is artificially just a bull ring fake track, which it is, in a coliseum all the way across the country to try to gain new fans that might tune in for a week or two and then turn back off because it's not like what they just saw. Because you're not going to have that at California. You're not going to have that at Phoenix, at Vegas. The only other track that you're going to have something like that at is Martinsville. That's the closest comparison I can see. And I don't even see them doing all that at Martinsville. So, especially in this new car. So, I just don't get it. It might have been cool to go to, but on TV, it was not a good thing to watch. The Pro Bowl, if it was actually a real Pro Bowl and people tackling all that stuff, I might have rather watched that than the damn Clash. But it is what it is. I understand what NASCAR's doing, but I just think they're not seeing the forest through the trees. So I hope it goes somewhere else next year, goes back to Daytona, Charlotte. I don't know. And I really don't care. They have to change some shape or form about this because I just don't think it's worth all the money and the resources that NASCAR puts into it to where, yeah, it'll work for a couple weeks, but a couple weeks after that, all these fans, all these quote unquote new fans are going to disappear and you might see them again next year for the Clash.